And now, live from Pod Cabin in Burbank, California, it's the Alison Rosen is Your New Best Friend show. Tonight, Alison welcomes a guest. He's an actor, writer, and producer you know as George from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. It's Danny Jolles. And she's a comedy writer and producer from Rosie O'Donnell Show, Late Night with David Letterman, and Busy Tonight. And she can be heard on the podcast Busy Phillips is Doing Her Best. It's Caissie St. Onge. Tone Zone is here to relax and contentedly massage the JLo butt in his soul. I'm her husband, Daniel, saying hop on board the love bus and say hello to your new best friend, Alison Rosen.
Alison Rosen. Alison Rosen is your new best friend. Alison with her good times never end. Alison Rosen doing the wavy pencil dance again. Alison Rosen. Alison's your new best friend.
Hello, my little plantain chips. Welcome to another exciting episode of Alison Rosen is Your New Best Friend. That particular not as sweet as you would want it to be, kind of salty. I realize I'm talking just my own taste in things. Carbohydrate was sent in on Patreon by Liz Johnson. All sorts of fun stuff on Patreon. We got weekly bonus episodes, and they now have a title, The Friend Zone. Thank you. That feels appropriate. We've got Zoom parties. We've got a level where you can text me, and I'll text you back. And I have to say that one of my Patreon subscribers is a doctor, so she's literally paying for the privilege of me asking her questions, and I feel pretty terrible about it. It feels a little bit unconscionable, but I did send flowers to her office to offset what this inappropriate situation that both she and I have found ourselves in. If you're listening, and I know you are because she listens to everything, thank you so much for all of your help. And I'll get into what I asked her advice about. But anyway, and also one of the Patreon things is you can send in carbohydrates and I will call you them. Very, very excited to welcome today's guest to the show. Oh boy, it is a big one and a special one. Danny Jolles, hello and welcome back.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me back. I'm so excited to be here.
You were a wonderful guest on the One-on-One Monday show, and now you're back on the group show, and it was going to be in person, but now it is remote, and I will get into the reason for all that. But how is it going?
It's going great. I'm sad that we don't get to see each other in person.
I know. But
you know what? We're making it work, and we're making the best we can of it. And I'm just I'm pumped to be here, Since I did the Monday one, I was told this was... You said, hey, there's a chance if you
play your cards right.
Stick with it. If you play your cards right and you stick with it and you don't give up on yourself, you could find yourself on a Thursday show. And now here I am.
I said, Danny, just give it over to the universe. Did you have trouble doing that?
I have a lot of trouble giving things over to the universe. I spent a lot of my time just terrified. But I still believed. And look at me now.
Look at you now. You're here.
On top of the mountain.
I know. Now, in terms of us all looking forward to it being in person, and this is yet another remote, and Tony, who I have not introduced yet, you guys don't even know if he's here or not. Tony and I always talk about when we go back and forth, we forget how to do everything. So I'd say this one's going gangbusters so far. But I remember back in my dating days, and I was always an overly excited, incredibly eager person, which is so cool. But I would be filled with 6 things I wanted to say at once. And then I would think of a 7th thing and say that instead to I kept putting off my good conversation. I mean, terrible tactics all around, but I kept putting off the main event, just to keep things going. So in a way, it's this is just forestalling, if that's the right word, the inevitable real life meetup we're going to have one day.
I can't wait for it. My thing when I went on dates, because I would do the same thing when I was when I wasn't good at it, is I would do I would go to a pizza place. Patsy's in New York was my go-to date spot, because you had to order a pizza together. And it was this initial conversation we could get into, and I couldn't move off it because we had to get there.
Yeah.
And then hopefully by the end of us deciding on a pizza, I would calm down and I would be in a better place. But I literally had to have a thing. I discovered it because I would do the same thing. I'd come in too hot.
Yeah.
Hot.
Interesting. I got to bring in everyone else to find out how they feel, because my thing is I used to find it very stressful in any social situation to have to order while also being in the presence of people with whom I wanted to talk to or I was expected to talk to. I'd always have to do an official, like, okay, let's figure out what we want and then let's talk. I micromanaged. I get what you're saying, though, about
But
like,
see,
well,
that's
this is
what I
a
mean,
joint thing.
Right, because then we'd have to come together on it. So you and I, we would immediately have that. We'd have now, by the time we're 10 minutes in, we're finished with our order. And now it's like, so who are you? And then we're in like a nice place.
Yeah.
First dates are tough, you're just trying to figure it out. But then eventually that died because people didn't like going on dinner dates anymore. That became very like, that would weird people out. So we had to alter.
To what?
Drinks. Everything became a drinks for the first 2 or 3 dates because it became this like pressure on a dinner.
Mm-hmm.
It became like like an expectation,
Yeah.
and I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I felt that. I didn't like that they felt that I felt that, and I just felt like it was a circle. And I was like, if we just do drinks, there's no expectation on anybody. Nobody's upset.
Right.
Let's just intend it to tone it down.
Dinner became fourth base.
It really did. It became so intense. And like I started, and nobody cared, and all of a sudden, I remember one day, girls were like, "Oh, we go for like dinner," and I was like, "Oh, have I lost it? Am I crazy? Am I the crazy one?"
Let's find out what another person who has made the leap, the universe rewarded her just general joie de vivre. She has been on my Monday show twice, maybe thrice, I think twice. And now she's made the leap to the group show as well. I cannot wait to reintroduce you, to remind you of Caissie St. Onge. Hello, welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
So excited that you were able. I mean, full disclosure, Caissie and I on social media, I was like, you got to come back on the show. And then I've been like thinking about like, oh, which show should I have you on? And I actually had a different show in mind. And then right like half an hour before this show, our other guest got a bunch of work dumped on her and had to back out. And I said to Caissie, is there any way? And I felt like a real jerk too, because it's like I couldn't have given you less notice. And yet here you are.
Well, I would like to clarify that we are actually friends.
Yes.
In my mind, you've been to my
I've been to your
home.
house. I've been to a party you had at your house. Yeah.
And so I've been to your house, and so you can ask friends for things when you need them.
I love that.
What was I doing?
I don't know. Putting on
You
nail
didn't
polish?
know, but yeah, it wasn't anything important. You saw how boring my pre-chat was before we started the podcast. I was talking about nail polish.
No, but
so
that's good.
I was captivated.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, you sell yourself short. And second of all, it's good to keep the pre-show chat. Like, have you guys heard of this term gray rock? It's something you're supposed to do. I don't know if it only exists on subreddits on Reddit about dealing with narcissists or if it's like beyond that. But when you're dealing with a narcissist, they talk about going gray rock or becoming gray rock, which means like being as boring as possible to not really give this person anything to dig into.
yes.
So I find, and we all do podcasts here, not my producer who I've not yet introduced.
Wait, what? I don't?
Oh, no, you do. I'm just saying I haven't introduced you, so I know that you're not sure whether you're supposed to talk or not yet.
Oh,
It's just a little game that I like to play with you. A little game I like to play with you. I don't know why. The pandemic has made me crazy. Oh yeah, this thing. Yeah, with all of us
crazy?
Thank you. All of us do podcasts, and really, you don't want the gold to happen before you start.
Yeah, you just want to serve a very bland broth
Exactly.
until it's not exactly gray rock. We're not trying to stonewall narcissists here because we're all only probably like a quarter narcissists.
Speak for yourself. I'm a little more. Oh, wait a minute.
So yeah, just serving up a little warm cup of bland broth.
Yes.
Inoffensive, but not. It doesn't have the meat chunks in it.
Right. If anyone ever went, and I don't know if they would have, because it really was a place for I feel like it was a place for old ladies, but I loved it. The Neiman Marcus Cafe, Neiman Marcus, foofy, stuffy department store that it is, had a little cafe, and as a amuse-bouche, I don't know, they would serve a tiny little cup of broth and a tiny little like crescent cracker thing with it. And it's that. Yeah.
Did they call it consommé?
No, I've had consomme, and I don't think it was consomme because it was chicken based. And to me, consomme is a beef game.
I just want consomme seems so old fashioned. Like I think I've only ever read it in like novels I borrowed from my nana.
You know what I feel is hang on one second. There's something I must do. Tony Thaxton, the bad boy of podcasting. Welcome.
Hey. Hi. I have something to tell you, but I don't want to interrupt this important chat right now. So we'll come back to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll circle back. I'm sorry I made you wait. I don't know why I did it. I think I got drunk on power.
I'm only furious. It's okay.
Oh, I have something else that's going to make you steamed, Tony.
That's what I got for you as well. So.
Oh my God, dual steams?
That's
right.
My goodness. We're having a steam off.
We're like a spa. Okay.
I got nothing.
Well, give it a little time. You'll figure out where our buttons are.
I'll try to upset everybody at some point. I'll give it my all.
Try. You too, Caissie. I don't want to walk away from this not mad. Oh, yeah. Old-fashioned soups. I knew there was something important we were talking about. To me.
So important that we have to keep Tony waiting. His very interesting, spicy, whatever it is. We have to keep him waiting to talk about old-fashioned soups.
We're still doing a golden chicken clear broth situation right now. Vichyssoise. I used to enjoy vichyssoise out of a Pepperidge Farm can because they used to make soup. It is a cold potato soup. I feel like it's not in our house, but at a restaurant, you'd get it in like a special chilled tureen. That is a very old fashioned kind of thing. I don't even think they have that anymore. Caissie, you seem to know about soup.
I've not been in the soup aisle in a little while, but I haven't seen vichyssoise in a really long time. What else is in there besides potatoes?
I think cream, some kind of milk base. Danny, have you even heard of vichyssoise, or are we knocking your socks off with our retro soup info?
I was literally trying to think of an example of this in my life because, you get up there in life and very rarely do you find yourself in a conversation where you're like, I don't know every fifth word being said right now. Like, I don't even know what we're kind of talking about. Better yet, have an opinion on it. Like,
oh my God. You're like you're where the listener is right now.
I'm just literally sitting here being like, I don't even know. There's so many vichyssoise and
consomme.
The C one you said, consomme. I've literally
the C word.
Yeah, I mean,
the other C word.
I was trying to figure out whether I could like Google it quickly to like say something, but I'm just going to come out and say it. I have literally no clue what you are even remotely talking about.
That's so good. It's so good that you stay young where soups are concerned. Like, you're probably up on the latest hot new soups. I never
like
discovered
the hot new soups. Yeah.
I'll have by hot new soup, you mean matzo ball and chicken noodle are probably the only two I have in any sort of regularity. But I do have a matzo ball fairly. I'll have a matzo ball.
Oh my gosh. One time, maybe I'll make it for you if we become friends today.
So.
Like Caissie and I are real friends.
Yeah. But around Thanksgiving time, I like to make a matzo ball soup where I use stuffing instead of the matzo for the balls. And it's very delicious.
Wow.
If you like stuffing, you will like it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can be Jewish and eat that. But if I can find a way for God to forgive me, I would be down to try it because
it'll be like delicious. A crime. It's the edgy soup that young people are into.
Yes, hell yeah! It's fusion. It's like if TikTok were a soup.
Oh, and nothing makes me more excited than hearing if TikTok were a soup. I hear that and I say, get me into this soup. I want to try this soup. Actually, I'm genuinely very, very, Caissie, I would love to try this soup because I'm so curious what it tastes like.
All right. Well, I mean, you could imagine, but I think it's good and it's made with love. And so let's just try to keep this friendship going until the fall, at least until I can give you some of this soup.
Okay.
I think you can do it. I feel like time is just going by at a very fast clip. So tomorrow you're going to have Caissie's stuffing balls in your mouth and also some broth. Tony, what was it that you wanted to say?
Well, I'm sorry to do this in front of guests to you, Alison, but
here we go.
your new friend that you've been so excited about,
Mary Lynn Rice Cub?
she might be trying to make another friend in her life because somebody just started following me on Instagram, and we had a quick little back and forth, and just
What did the back and forth concern?
we were just setting up our we're dating now. I didn't tell you that part.
Oh my God. She'll do anything to get close to me.
And of course, just drinks, no food, but
Right. You're not ready to go to fourth base socially yet. Yes. So Danny and Caissie, I don't know if you guys know, but I have done something that is very rare, and I have made a new adult friend in the pandemic.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Exciting.
Not only that, but another rare thing, although Caissie, we might qualify as this. The friendship spun off. It started as she was a guest on my podcast, and then we became friends. Although I feel like, Caissie, you and I had met in real life in New York, perhaps near where Danny was wowing a lady with a pizza before you came on my podcast. So it's different. But anyway, so it's Mary Lynn Rice Cub. You might have heard of her. She is famous, but that's not why I like her. I like her because she likes me. But anyway,
Well, she's also a I believe criminally underrated stand-up comic.
Yes.
I know Mary also, and she is just so sneaky good at stand-up, and I feel like it's never been like really recorded. She just sort of like does it.
Mm-hmm.
But she is so good, and I feel like I just messaged her the other day because I saw Tomorrow War, and I was like, she was so good in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I know she really has. She can do it all, including be friends with Tony, I guess.
Yeah.
And Danny too.
No, I wouldn't put myself as a friend. I don't want to put that on Mary. I don't think she probably just sees me as a colleague,
as a professional peer.
I sometimes also talk to her, not to make it less special, but I sometimes do also talk to her on social media. I wouldn't say that she's not been to my house like Alison has.
Right.
But I bet if I invited her, she probably wouldn't say no.
She probably would come. She's like a very nice, fun, open person.
I don't know if she'd come, but she'd probably be nice about it and give like a really convincing excuse for why she couldn't make it, which I think is friendly in a way.
I think so too. Well, I guess we're all friends with my friend. And congratulations, Tony. And then Tony, so now that I have received your steam, I have some to give you. Guess what I did before we started this show? And once again, this is an open-ended question that you will never be able to answer. And I have a follow-up open-ended question, but guess what's something I have done? What's something I do that makes you mad?
Oh, where do I start? I mean, I feel like this always ends up being bug related. So
Nope.
I don't.
This has nothing to do with insects.
You said I wasn't going to be able to guess it, so.
You will actually, though, because there was one episode wherein we discussed whether you're like a violent, angry person or not. Because jokingly, because I don't know why
the answer was absolutely yes.
Yes, and I don't know why I'm insisting on making this the world's most boring game, but because I had done something and you asked why I do that, and I sensed an edge in your voice.
I was asking a question, and now it's turned into that I was furious.
Hey, I don't remember the words. I just remember how it made me feel.
How did he say it, Alison? Can you?
Yeah, I'll tell you what I did, Tony. Just watch his reaction. Watch Tony's face. Tony, I unplugged everything prior.
Walked away.
I forgot to mention when I gave my hard sell for Patreon earlier. If you're a Patreon subscriber at the friend level, I believe that's what I call that level. It's the $5 level. Then you can see this video.
you can help re-plug in every single piece.
You can come here and plug in my equipment.
You make it to the top tier.
You can see this video. You get to see the Thursday show videos when we have videos of them. I completely forgot to mention that because that's, a big ticket item. Anyway, yes. So we have been going back and forth between in-person and remote, and Pragmatic Tony, who also is referred to as the bad boy of podcasting, he gave himself that name, but I cling to it, is like, doesn't understand why I don't just leave everything plugged in when I switch back to remote. So he was on his way out to the studio. It's in my back. The studio is in a separate building in my backyard. And I'm trying to recreate it so that you guys can feel his rage. I said, oh yeah, I unplugged some of the stuff, so you're gonna have to plug it in. And he said, let me get into character. Okay. I'm angry. Someone's making extra work for me. I don't get paid enough for this bullshit. And she just stands there like it's no big deal, but it's a huge deal. All the plugging and the rearranging. He said, why do you do that?
I didn't say it
he said,
like that.
Oh yeah. I've been meaning to say, why do you do that? No, that felt off. He said, I've been meaning, but he was like trying to keep a lid on it. So,
right. It's that contained, he's
exactly.
trying to contain, but it's boiling over.
Exactly. Like
soup.
Yes. There's like a big stuffing ball pushing up the lid. He said, oh yeah, I meant to ask you, why do you keep doing that? It was like that. And I said, I felt the edge.
The word keep is very telling.
I don't even know if I used the word keep.
But I saw it in your eyes.
But yeah, you might have implied the word keep, and that implies that you've been mad about it a number of times before you said anything.
It might have been, why do you do that? I mean, but Caissie's just zeroed right in on the source of the rage, because it was like, go ahead.
I was legitimately wondering why, and I was confused by it because I still kind of don't fully. I somewhat understand some of it. I just don't think you just don't have to unplug as many things as you have been unplugging.
If I may, since we're reading into your words, you just said I legitimately was wondering why ... and the implied words are, you are so stupid.
Yeah. Why you're such a dumbass and you insist on dumbassing it up every single week in, week out.
Right. Yeah. I'll just call you a dumbass next time.
Oh my God. Should I have to deal with this?
Language.
Should I have to deal with this? You guys? Anyway, Tony.
Yes.
I don't know why I said it that way. Or do I? Anyway, the reason I don't know the dumbass.
Were you about to say I don't know? Is that what you were going to say?
No.
I think I heard it. I
don't know why you have to be the way you are. The dumbest thing of all, or the silliest thing of all, is that there's one place I sit when we record in person and it's a Thursday show. There's another place I sit when we record in person and it's a Monday show. And there's yet another place I sit when it's remote. So each place and I use a particular microphone stand, and I've got to move the recorder so it's like facing me. And then I have to set the lights back up again if it's going to be remote. So, and then I got to move the chairs out. So each format involves like a different setup in the studio, and it just feels overwhelming when there's like a bunch of microphones and a whole bunch of cords. So I feel more calm when everything is unplugged and like neatly wrapped up, which actually makes me sound like an organized person. I'm very disorganized, but I feel more calm when this room feels organized, and it does make more work for Tony.
And now if I could come in,
yes,
somewhat to vocalize the Tony side of this.
Oh, I see.
Well, and only because we're playing a little bit of both sides here.
Sure.
There has to be a part of you when you do that right? Because you're like, ooh, this doesn't look good and I want to keep more organized. So there has to be a part of your brain that's also like, this is going to push him. This is going to make him a little upset.
Well, yes. I thought to myself, well, Tony's not going to love this.
See, and that's I think an important part, not necessarily good or bad, but an important part to also internalize is there has to be a little bit of a Tony isn't going to love this.
Yeah. Do you watch Dexter?
I do not.
I have.
You know the premise, though?
Yes, I do.
He has to kill. He has a dark passenger. He has to kill, but it's for good.
Right.
Did you say where is this going?
Yeah.
We'll all find out together.
I think I know where this is going, and I support where this is going.
And by the way, they're bringing Dexter back. Dexter Returns. I saw
Dropped the trailer today.
Yeah. What do we think?
I'm confused about what, like, is it just going to pick up where it left off? I watched the first many seasons and then I didn't watch like the last 2 or 3. I don't know how many there were.
Same.
But is this picking up where it left off, or is it like years in the future? I don't know. Do you know? Does anyone know?
I don't know if it's a prequel, a sequel,
Or
I don't know.
what's the opposite? I guess sequel is the only other option. A prequel or a sequel.
A continuum.
Yeah, just more. I mean, the fact that
I
it's
don't
called
know.
Dexter Returns, not Dexter, makes me think,
Yeah.
what is it? I actually used to enjoy the show a lot, and I will probably give it a chance. Yes, Danny, what were you going to say?
I was going to say Returns, I feel like, gives a indication that this is the future and that what has happened. I have never watched Dexter. I'm going to assume that the show probably ended with him being like, I think I got my kicks.
Kind of like retired as a serial killer.
I'm going to assume it
correct?
ended with him retiring as a serial
Yeah.
killer. And so it sounds to me like potentially we're picking up where years in the future he says to himself, hey, let's get back out there. Let's do this a couple more times. And that's how that's my pitch. Certainly, if I was pitching on a show I've never seen before, is I would say we're going to get back out there. We're going to kill a little bit more. Maybe something happened that he wants to just kill a select group, so he has like a list. I don't know. These are premises I would throw out there.
He kills bad people.
He kills bad
Right.
people.
His kills are they're morally defensible, I guess. Is that the right word?
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, yes.
You can defend them. Just sort of like how I can defend needing to unplug stuff. Tony.
Yeah.
Also, I'll have everyone know I've been drinking way more water. I am someone who does not like water. I feel strongly that it's not particularly good. I get that it is healthy. I don't like the taste of it. I pretty much exclusively drink flavored sparkling water drinks, and I'm not talking about like Bublé or LaCroix or all those that don't have any artificial sweetener. I drink ones that have artificial sweetener in them, but they don't have sugar. But anyway, I've really been trying to drink more water, and I'm getting into it. So
Your skin looks great.
thank you. This
You look
skin,
very hydrated.
Thank
Yes.
you.
It's very good to drink water. Very
Yeah,
important.
they say that. And we had Eliza Skinner on, who said that she got one of those like embarrassingly humongous jugs of water and drank it, and all of a sudden had more energy. Like all her problems were alleviated by that, which really is the promise of so many Instagram accounts that are about self-care.
Yeah.
Those jugs. Well, go ahead, Caissie.
You can also OD on water, just not to frighten you.
No, I'm
but
not
you
drinking that
can.
much.
Yeah, I always keep it in mind that it's possible to, kill yourself with water if you go too crazy.
What?
That should have been my argument all these times in the past. Like, I value life, so no, I will not be drinking water.
Just being careful. Just be careful. Don't overdo it with the water, because I think it like dilutes your salts, your
electrolytes.
like your electrolytes, and then next thing you know. So don't go nuts. maybe, just a happy medium with water. You even have to be moderate with water.
I wonder what you feel before you die of having had too much water, because similarly, on the opposite end of that, I think dying of not having water, you would be incredibly thirsty, and then a whole bunch of bad things would happen. So
yeah, you'd feel
the opposite. I wonder what that is.
You're probably like, my skin looks more amazing than it's ever looked in my life.
I have so much energy.
Oh my God, I see a light. I'm going toward it, I guess.
Yes.
That's a really good question. But right now, whatever level of water that you're at, whatever Patreon level of water that you're at right now, it looks amazing.
Oh, I'm at the supple level. Thank you. I mean, since you said that, this would be an appropriate time for me to tell you guys that I have been using Apostrophe skincare. I don't know if you know about Apostrophe. It is great. They do prescription skincare stuff like acne medication and other stuff. So oral and topical medications that are clinically proven to help clear acne. But it's online. So you take a quiz, you put some info in, you take pictures of your face, 3, one from the front, one from the right side, one from the left side, send it in, talk about your concerns. And then pretty quickly, you get a message saying that a dermatologist has reviewed your thing and has a treatment plan for you. And then it's like so easy. And I had never tried Retin-A before, and I had wanted to, I don't really have acne. I mean, occasionally I do, but I don't have a ton of acne anymore. But, I am getting of the age where I remember old soups. And so I do have fine lines. And I had heard that Retin-A, which I had never used before, is like this miracle. Well, I don't want to use the word miracle, but there's a miraculous elements to it. I had heard it's just amazing. It just does amazing things for your skin. And I wanted to try it, but I did not, especially during this past year, did not want to schlep all the way to a dermatologist. And also I don't have a regular dermatologist. So anyway, this couldn't have been more convenient. And then also I had some dark spots on my face that I wanted to fade, and I don't even think you can see them right now. You can barely see them. So I
certainly can't see them.
Thank you. I am just, I'm all about Apostrophe. And then I wanted to, I started on a very, very, low, percentage of tretinoin. That's the generic Retin-A, and I wanted to use a higher percentage, and I asked if we could go up, and we did. And yeah, it's just been great. We have a special deal for our audience. Save $15 off your first visit with a board certified dermatologist at apostrophe.com/bestfriend when you use our code bestfriend. This code is only available to our listeners. To get started, just go to It's exclusive. To get started, just go to apostrophe.com/bestfriend and click begin visit. Then use our code bestfriend at sign up and you'll get $15 off your dermatology visit. That's apostrophe, apostrophe.com/bestfriend and use that code bestfriend to get your dermatology visit and save $15. And we thank Apostrophe for sponsoring the podcast.
You're honestly losing money if you don't take this deal, is what I feel like.
Thank you.
That's a good
Thank
deal.
you. That is, thank you very much. Okay. We got a lot of stuff to get to.
Yes.
Danny,
Yes.
when we last talked, you had sold your place, but didn't have a new place to move to. So where are we talking to? Are you in your new place?
We are in our new home.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. We did it. We went through the... Thank you. We did the whole process. It was a thrilling, exciting time, and now we are in our new home.
Wow, you did it.
We did it. It was we had a great buying experience. We had which was surprising because
Yeah, especially in this
everybody-
market.
well, we sold, and I think last time you saw it, I was like, we're selling, and it was a dream come true because it turns out everybody wants everything. And then our realtor was like, so you're going to, get absolutely smashed when you become a buyer. And so we were terrified. And then we found this place and we love it and we're very happy.
And
the
it
dog's
wasn't
pumped.
like a nightmare buying situation where you had to waive the inspection and give them your firstborn and stuff.
Let me tell you, karma is a thing I believe in very strongly. I believe it is the key to most good things that happen in this world is a little bit of karma. When we sold our place, we had two main offers. We had one very sweet young lady who we had a friend in common with who really wanted it.
Mary Lynn.
It was going to be her first, Mary Lynn. And would you believe? And it was going to be her first. It was just a great story. And then this other person put in her final offer, and she said, "We'll do $2,000 more than what the other person is offering." That was her offer. And we went with the young person because we were like, we just like your attitude. She wrote a nice letter. We just were like, yeah.
We
just want a person who's cool. And I don't like the attitude of this other one. I don't like that attitude. That's not the way that is, that's rude.
Yeah.
And then we looked for one weekend, and we found this place, and we put in, an offer, and they just like came back, and they just were like, "Hey, will you be cool?" That was literally what they said. They just said, "Hey, will you be cool about this? Because like we just moved to Australia, and can we just make this a simple process?" And we were like, "Yeah." And it was like done.
Wow.
And we did inspections, and it was great.
Really? That's so nice.
It's like the CarMax experience of buying a home.
We had such a delightful time. It was just a pleasant experience the whole way through. The place is exactly what they said it was. We couldn't really find anything like horribly. It's just been a lovely time. And our dog now has stairs, and she loves them.
Aww.
Look at you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's very adult over here. We're
That is
really doing a lot
wonderful.
of adult stuff.
What, without revealing your address, like what part of town are you in?
We're in the Sherman Oaks.
Oh, you're not too far.
Beautiful.
Nice.
It's beautiful. I love it.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah.
I'm glad that worked out for you. That's great. And then Caissie, you are a prognosticator. You
That's why I'm here.
can see into the future.
I've been told I can see somewhat into the future.
Either that or you just know the celebrity game really well, but take it away.
All right. I'll try to say this very quickly.
No, you don't have to. You can just say it very longly.
All right.
I'm so curious where this is going.
As we know, this is not the first time that I've predicted things, but this is the most fun thing I think that I've ever potentially predicted. We'll see if it comes true. But we know that Jennifer Lopez was dating Alex Rodriguez, and our friend Ben Affleck was dating Ana de Armas, and there were 2 breakups, and and they're going through things, sorting all of that out. Ben really entertained us by really giving it to the paparazzi. Like, he was serving up just very entertaining paparazzi content every day. JLo is incredible. So way back in April, we heard, thanks to the paparazzi snapping their picture, that Jen and Ben had gotten together, and and we all figured, oh, they're like consoling each other, they're helping each other work out their breakups, they're still friends, that's nice. So then we're curious now, we're hungry for a little more Ben in particular. For me and the host of the podcast that I'm on, Busy Phillips, is doing her best. My creative partner, Busy Phillips, we love to talk about Ben Affleck, so we're always like looking at what Ben's up to. So we're following the Ben and Jen story. And then I see a photo in May, I believe it was May 24th, of Ben out and about wearing a watch that looked very familiar to me, and it looked familiar to other people as well. It was the watch that JLo gave him in the Jenny from the Block video in 2002. The video that they starred in when they were dating originally. And I was like, just like struck by a bolt of lightning. I was like, they're remaking the Jenny from the Block video for the 20th anniversary of Jenny from the Block. And so I really went on our podcast and like ran with this, even though my only evidence was Ben wearing this watch, and Busy screamed, which delighted me. So I was like, even if this is like the wildest guess of something that's not happening, it entertained us. We were delighted by it. But over time, I've been watching, and the evidence has been piling up, in my opinion, that Jennifer, as I like to call them, that's their couple name to me, have been recreating situations that look to me very similar in my interpretation to various scenes from the Jenny from the Block video. And so I've been reporting on that on Instagram, talking about it on our podcast. But then I want to, remain cautiously optimistic and a healthy sense of skepticism. So I've always said, but listen, we don't know yet. Call me when they're on a yacht together. Well, this weekend, Jennifer had her 52nd birthday on a yacht in the south of France. Pictures came out of them smooching on the yacht. She was in a bikini. My Instagram blew up with people being like, OMFG, it's happening. It's happening. Have you seen this? Everyone in the world sent me this photo. Yes, I saw it. And then later, I basked in it because I was like, yeah, it might be happening. It might actually be happening. And then later that afternoon, Sunday afternoon, there was a photo of them recreating the famous scene where they're both laying down on the yacht. She's in her bikini. His hand is on her bottom. He's doing the 1,000-yard stare out over the water because they're so in love. And like whenever that photo came out, I was like, this is it. This is it, man. So it really just that idea, that like instinct that I had way back in May went very viral this weekend. And so like today, Monday, I've been like on BBC Radio talking about it.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Wow. It's wild. A bunch of English people, followers, messaged me that it's so funny because I guess the radio program I was on is very sort of adult and stodgy. And so they were laughing that I was brought on to talk about Ben touching JLo's butt on a yacht. And so just, everybody sort of picked up the story. So it's been on like VanityFair.com today and the Today Show and AV Club, all your buffet of outlets have been like, is this lady a kook or could it be true?
You hit the 24-hour news cycle, Caissie. That's amazing.
I just feel like, it's been a real ride. If it doesn't come to pass, I told our friend Michelle Collins that I will feel like a real Mayan with a dud calendar, like I apologize that the world didn't end. But I feel like there's a lot of evidence and it seems apparent that they know what they're doing.
Go ahead, Danny.
So to be clear on the prediction.
Yeah.
Because I just want to make sure that we get you are saying that in the next like month or two, she is going to put out a new music video of Jenny on the Block with Ben Affleck recreating the entire first one?
I mean, it could be a number of things. I think anytime in the next year it could come out. But my feeling is when you're having like a pop culture anniversary, you usually celebrate the year that something came out. So it could like kick in as early as, January 1st, 2022. But JLo does what she wants to do, so it could be any time.
I've always said that about her.
Yeah,
that's why she's who she is.
Yeah,
listen,
she's a boss lady.
Try to put, you can't put Jenny in a box.
Exactly.
That's what
you can put her
said.
on the block, yes, but you can't
put
not
her in a box.
box.
I've always said that. That's one of my favorite phrases.
And so I'm just looking forward to finding out whether it's like maybe it's a video for a new song that is, that is a kind of a reboot of Jenny from the Block video wise. Maybe who knows what it is, but it's obvious at this point that they're intentionally recreating a lot of these scenes. So I feel vindicated in that I feel like I was on the money with that, but it remains to be seen what the actual product is. I'm hoping for the video. It seems like a lot of people are excited for it to possibly be a video. So who knows? And a lot of I think one of the English newspapers said that they reached out to their teams for comments. So we'll see. Maybe I doubt that they'll comment, but
I suspect they won't.
But if JLo and Ben are listening to this, I also want to say I'm sorry. I hope I didn't spoil any surprises that you had planned. I was just excited about it. I didn't expect it to go viral.
This brings me to my question. And Caissie, you were the EP of Watch What Happens for years, right?
I was one of the co-EPs of Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen. Yes.
And you worked for Letterman. And you worked for Rosie O'Donnell. And you wrote with Joan Rivers. What big am I missing? I feel like I'm missing a credit.
I was I worked on Best Week Ever with all those Canadian kids, and I was the showrunner, and Tina Fey and I were the executive producers of Busy Tonight with Busy Phillips over on E.
So you get how the celebrity world works, I'm going to say. So with these pictures coming out, is it like they're recreating this and the paparazzi are just worming their way in there and getting the photos? Or are they like playing cat and mouse? Are they allowing the photos to get out?
Well, I think that we saw the photo where they were snuggling on the boat with the hand on the butt. Her photographer or a hired photographer was right there photographing them. And there was a paparazzi shot that included that photographer. So they know they're capturing these moments. They know that they're being watched. And that makes me happy because I do not subscribe to like celebrities being chased. I think the reason that they made the video in the first place is because the paparazzi made their relationship so difficult because they really were like the first celebrity portmanteau, one name couple, and who got chased around by paparazzi, which we know is very unpleasant and even can be dangerous. So I think that the video in the first place was kind of a commentary on like, you know, we're famous now. We get visually, it was about being stalked by paparazzi. So I obviously don't go in for that. So it makes me happy that clearly they know some of the photographers who are capturing this.
This might come as a shock, but I personally have never been stalked by paparazzi or even, I know it's an outrage. I don't even think I've ever been papped, however you say it. I have been around paparazzi and I've seen them they just leave their camera down when I come by and I think, oh, well, just you wait.
Is there anything more humiliating than doing a red carpet where the paparazzi has no clue who you are? I've had to do it multiple times. It is honestly so embarrassing.
What happened?
Where they ask you to move. They ask you to move out of the...
Well, no, it's like at a red carpet where you're supposed to be there. So they're like, you have to do it and you have to go on there. And then you watch every photographer. It's so embarrassing.
Was this like for Crazy X? Crazy X
for a couple other like movies and stuff I've done where I'm not important enough that anybody cares. But, you know, I like to think that I contribute.
You do.
Thank you so much. But they, so you'll see this thing where they'll be like, blah, blah, like, you know, photo. And then you'll walk up and they'll all be like this. You can just hear them go like this. Who that? Because they all have a sheet of who they're supposed to photograph. They go, who the hell is this? Danny. And you're just like, oh, we all know this is a joke. And half of them don't even pick up their camera again, but the other half are like, they pretend. They're like, oh, we have to pretend. Danny. And you're like, this is humiliating.
Oh my gosh. I've had the experience where I've been on a red carpet and supposed to be on the red carpet and photographers have asked me to move out of the way so they can photograph someone more important, sometimes someone who I'm with, that's always embarrassing. And I've also had the experience of like coming out of a door where photographers are waiting to photograph the people coming out and have them actually like vocally be like, ugh, like, ugh.
Yeah.
You know, they raised their heavy camera and then they realized that they did it for no reason. They're like, ugh.
I feel like that I've had that because I was having dinner at a place that I didn't even see them, but I guess Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom were there. This was years ago. And that happened. I don't know if I heard an actual ugh, but I might have when I came out.
Yeah, it's not great for your self-esteem.
It's really
but
not.
Also, you know what? The way I look at it, getting photographed on the red carpet, when you're not 100% prepared for it, having that actually happen and then seeing the photo later is also not great for your self-esteem. So maybe
100%.
It's just better to get the ugh and like get out of the way.
Yes.
And then you don't have to worry about not loving that pic.
Tony, you're in a world famous band. You have a gold record, which I'm not sure if it's real. But I really, you know what? I really sound like I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm joking, but it sounds just like I'm like really, treating you like I treat my husband. So I'm sorry. Your gold record is real. You deserve all the accolades. Accolades? I don't know. Accolades.
Accolades is a good word, though.
Thank
Keep
you.
it
What would it mean?
It's like when, I don't know, you compliment someone. Yeah. You compliment someone for keeping it together when they feel awkward.
Yes. Accolades. Tony, are paparazzi a thing at Motion City Soundtrack shows?
No.
Not ever?
No.
Not even all your Warped Tour action?
No, and I can't normally hear their reaction anyways, because they're normally just circling in helicopters above my place, so I can't hear them anyways.
You've tuned it out, right? It's just white noise to you at this point.
Yeah.
But it should be. This is not talked about enough, but a lot of time when paparazzi are at a place, they're told to be there. It is 99% of the time. This is a scam.
Yes.
This is a scam that people do that is like set up by like PR people. So it is. It is also. They could be at your thing if you wanted them to be. That's like true of a lot of our stuff. All of us could have paparazzi on our lives if we were willing to do it. We choose not to. There are people who choose to have it.
How much are we talking?
I don't think it's as much as you think. I mean, you can get, because I've dealt with a publicist a couple times. I'm sure you all have. And like, that's something you can, I don't think it would cost that much to get a fake paparazzi moment.
That's true. That's possible. I've also had the experience where I'm leaving a place with a person who is sort of being watched by paparazzi, and very often people are nice and they'll stop for a couple of photos, especially if they're familiar with the photographer. But I've had this situation where the paparazzi has handed me a card and said, like, if you want to call me next time you're going to be at a place, I'll show up and then I'll just nicely, unobtrusively take a couple of photos and then get out of your hair, which kind of is like, sounds
like
nice
threat
on the one hand, but is also a threat. Yeah. Like,
yeah, that's
like,
a real like, nice party. Shame if we made a scene here.
yeah, call me if you don't want me to chase you
Right.
in your car.
I don't know about that.
That's the thing. It's a business.
But one quick thing, and publicists who listen are going to have, I'm sure someone will be upset that I say this, but when you were saying that, like, we've dealt with publicists before, and when I was asking like how much it costs to get a fake paparazzi moment, I will say, publicist, I've never had my own publicist. I've thought about it. That is a very, very expensive. And publicists who are listening, I'm not suggesting you're not worth it. You're worth every cent. It's just a lot of cents.
Yes.
It's
really
a
is.
lot of sense. It's
worth it. Someday I hope to.
I won't say a rate because I think it's pretty obvious, but I will say that it is astonishing what they charge.
I didn't even know we had an old-fashioned cash register right here. Mm-hmm. Fifth chair. But something that I'm the segue queen, you guys. And here comes another one of my gems. Speaking of glamour, the kind of glamour that will attract the paparazzis, I want to tell you guys about Glamnetic magnetic lashes. Glamnetic, this company actually makes a bunch of stuff, but I specifically want to talk about the lashes. So I'm wearing them right now. These are false eyelashes that are magnetic, so you don't need lash glue. Danny, Tony, I know how much you have said, I will never deal with lash glue again. Well, you don't have to. And by the way, these are strip lashes. I realize I'm speaking a language that not everyone understands, but typically I just use individual lashes on the outside because I have never really known how to put on a strip lash and it sort of overwhelms me. However, recently, guest of the show, Marcella Arguello, guest of the show,
very
whose
funny.
name, yeah, she's very funny, and I think I just messed up her name, Marcella Arguello. That's right?
Arguello, I believe.
Yes. Anyway, she posted like, what lash glue do you guys like? And something like that, but it was way more clever. I regret that I mentioned her name because now I'm butchering this. But anyway, a lot of people responded, magnetic lashes, magnetic lashes, magnetic lashes. And she was like, thank you. That's not what I asked. But still, so I looked at
That's
this.
a classic Marcella.
Yes. I looked
at classic Marcella moment.
There were people who were like, they've changed my life. Like, I will never go back. And so I tried them today, and it really is. So anyway, you buy this magnetic eyeliner, and it works just like regular eyeliner. I did my own eyeliner, and then I used the magnetic eyeliner. And I have some that's brush on, and I have some that's like a felt pen eyeliner, which is what I've been using lately. So I just put that where the lash was going to go, and like bent the lashes a little bit, put it on, and suddenly I have glamorous. I'm blinking furiously. Again, you go look at the video if you want to see my furious blinking right now to illustrate my glamorous lashes and dramatic lashes that I have, but they're not all dramatic. I mean, they have like a bunch of different lengths and they have different styles. I am either wearing Vixen or Virgo right now, but it really took like a minute to put them on. I think my whole life has changed because of these lashes.
They look fantastic.
Thank you very much. Have you tried?
Yes, the advancements in eyelashes have been fast and furious over the past few years.
Yes.
And I do love a magnetic lash because the magnetic lashes, when they first started, it was 2 magnetic lashes that you sandwiched your own lashes in between. And then like throughout the night, they would get like further and further away from your face. And then it'd be kind of wild. It was a real Liza Minnelli, trying to fetch her lash off the floor moment. But these that stick to the magnetic eyeliner are so great.
I know. It is Glamnetic has over 500,000. Add me to that. 500,001 happy customers. And they have a lash quiz. I love a quiz. Vegan and cruelty-free options available. Find out for yourself why Glamnetic lashes are Instagram's favorite beauty hack. Go to glamnetic.com/bestfriend and enter our code bestfriend for 30% off your order. This code is only available for our listeners. That's glamnetic.com/bestfriend and enter in our promo code bestfriend at checkout for 30% off. I promise you guys, these lashes literally apply themselves. Okay. I would like
this is a true.
You're losing money if you do not take this deal.
Once again, yes. Yes.
This is a true story.
Yes.
You don't have to include this, but I use Glamnetic lashes. You talked about all the different varieties.
Yeah.
I keep them all on like a little magnetic board, so that I have like a lash menu, and I just look on, like they stick right to the board, and that's how I keep them safe. And when I go.
Did you make this board yourself, or do they offer this board too?
No, I just like used a little magnetic, that we used to stick the magnetic alphabet letters on.
Smart. Which they have so many different styles. Which one is there one that you like the best?
I like the smaller, more natural ones because my eyes are kind of round, and so I just like I'm not on stage or whatever, so I just like to have the more natural ones. But the dramatic ones look so great on you.
Thank you. I feel like I feel like they make even more dramatic than this.
Oh, probably.
I could like fan someone across the room if I had long enough ones. And Caissie, we've talked about this before, but you have tattooed on eyeliner that you were told was somewhat temporary, but you're realizing it's going to be a part of you forever, right?
Oh yeah, it's been like 10 years now. It was supposed to go away in like 5 years max.
But is that bonus? It's going to never leave, or are you bummed?
It's fine. I think that if I had been smarter and realized that it was never going to go away, I might not have gotten the winged eyeliner. I might have just gone for like a nice line and not a wing. But it's fine. You can cover it up with makeup. The only other bummer is that it was very, very black when I first got it done. And if you're familiar, if you know anyone's body that has a tattoo, sometimes the black ink turns kind of bluish over time. And so it's a little bit bluish. So I have a choice now. I can either like get it touched up, or I can just leave it blue. I don't want to get yelled at by like an eye tattoo lady about how shaky my eyelids are because I'm still not over it from like 10 years ago. But yeah, so it's fine. It's nice to wake up with, that seems weird. I sound like a real weirdo. It's nice to wake up with eyeliner on every morning.
I think it would be nice. No, for me, yes. But also I could imagine it's nice to not have to apply eyeliner.
Yeah, it's just, I really don't have to. And every once in a while, somebody will say, oh, I love that color blue. What is that? And I'm like, oh, age.
I just want to say, I think the person who got on your case about your shaky eyelids should back the F off, because what more appropriate time for your eyelids to shake than when someone's coming at them with a needle?
There's literally a childhood rhyme, cross my heart, hope to die, stick a needle in my eye, because that's the most horrific thing that could be done to anyone. And that is what I voluntarily did, to have a needle repeatedly stuck in both of my eyes. So settle down, eye tattoo lady.
Also, this is real, thanks patriarchy.
Yeah.
Even though it's empowering to look as beautiful as we do. Speaking of, I burned my I never done this before, but I used a curling wand. I have done that before, but I burned my right knuckle a little bit.
Just go, girl.
And it does not feel good. So I'm going to be okay. I'm just letting people know that I am podcasting from a place of injury. But I'm going to.
You've got a Patreon supporter who you can ask questions about.
That's right.
Patreon. Dr. Supporter.
Dr. Supporter.
Is that her name, Dr. Supporter?
Yes.
It is now.
Speaking of Patreon, I would like to say hello and welcome to my new, I believe now. Okay, so this is the third time I think I've told this story, so not in this episode, but I'm sorry. Initially, the name of the bonus episodes, a few different people had suggested Best Friends with Benefits. And I was like, oh, that's so good. So that's what I was going to call it. But then someone suggested the Friend Zone. I'm like, oh, wait, I think I like that. So the Friend Zone is the bonus episode. Best Friends with Benefits is what I'm now calling my subscribers. So I would like to say hello and welcome to the new Friends with Benefits.
Alison wants to say thank you to a couple of special people out there who signed up to be new patrons. Patreon.com/Alison Rosen.
All right. Hello and welcome Sean Kennedy, and hello and welcome Jennifer Priestley. Thank you. Very excited to have you here. It's going to be fun. Okay. So the thing that I was starting to say before about, I forget why I had brought it up, but I know that I had said that it related to something. There was something I was going to say. The Monday episode this week was Daniel and me and your calls. And on that episode, I shared that we may have been exposed, even though we're vaccinated, to COVID. What happened is we had someone at our house as this is Monday right now. We had someone at our house on Saturday. And when they went home, they let us know that they found out that someone that they briefly saw on Friday had lost their sense of smell. And then that person took a rapid test. And by the way, everyone in this story is vaccinated. That person took a rapid test and was positive. So, and this person was, I think I said it was a babysitter. So obviously around my kids as well. So at first I was very freaked out, and I think Daniel and I recorded the show when I was in that state of being freaked out. And now I'm to the point where I'm like, I really don't think we were exposed. And also, even if she is to come down with it, and I hope she doesn't, I think it would be too fast. Again, the Dr. Supporter said this, and another doctor. Her being exposed, even if she comes down with it, her being exposed on Friday, like Saturday is probably too soon for her to have transmitted it or blah, blah, blah. But still that's why I switched this recording that was supposed to be in person to remote. And there's sort of a question mark on future recordings because I'm like freaked out again now. And the other thing and then we're keeping my son home from school this week. And I was nervous about telling the school because I didn't, I know there's like all sorts of protocols and I'm like, I don't know what they're going to say. They might need him to be out for, a full 2 weeks. So anyway, though, they said, keep him home for 4 to 5 days and then test. And then they're like, wait a minute, was it exposure or secondary exposure? And I said it was secondary exposure. meaning we weren't exposed to someone who was positive. We were exposed to someone who was exposed. And they said, this was interesting. And I don't know if it's different for like public, he's in preschool, he's 4. So I don't know if it's different if it's public school, elementary school, but they're like, you actually could send him if you want. And I'm like, well, we had decided we're going to keep him home this week. And they said that they appreciated that. It makes it, less stressful for them, but it is okay for him to come with secondary exposure. So that was interesting. And then he woke up. This was not fun. He woke up this morning with a runny nose and like wet eyes. And so that freaked me out. But he said that he couldn't stop sneezing in bed and he felt itchy. And he said he thought he sneezed maybe 10 or 11 times. He does know how to count that high. So I'm going to trust him. I gave him some Kids Allegra, and then his symptoms, if they're symptoms, like went away, within the hour, and he hasn't been drippy or anything since then. But that was a data point that I was not sure how to assimilate when he first woke up like that. Because again, still, it's like, but I still think this is too soon for, even if it were COVID, it's too soon for it to appear. But now he suddenly seems to have a cold when he hasn't had a cold in all this time. Anyway, so that's what's going on. I don't really have a good update, but I had a bad update, and it was that.
I'm sorry to hear that. That's so scary.
Thank you. I think I think everyone's gonna be okay.
You're definitely gonna be okay. I mean,
yeah.
That's like, it's just I remind everybody of like, vaccinated people will occasionally get it. Mm-hmm. There are going to be breakthrough cases. There's a chance someone in your family is one of the breakthrough cases. But the odds of you having a serious time with it are it's just so slim. Like it just isn't going in that direction. So you'll definitely be okay. I feel very confident saying that. It's such a low percentage you have any real issue with it.
Yeah.
If you somehow got it, which is also a breakthrough case, which is also somewhat unlikely.
Right.
But that is why it is so important to get vaccinated, is because this situation would be way more scary if you were not vaccinated.
So I started worrying then about my kids because they're too young to get vaccinated. But I do trust that it is very rare that kids get really sick.
Incredibly rare, even rarer than some would say vaccinated people. Is like a 4-year-old is like.
Are you guys hearing of more breakthrough cases? Because all of a sudden I am hearing of a lot.
I'm hearing of
some. Yeah.
I'm hearing of some. I would say of some. I'm not hearing a ton, but I've heard of definitely a couple of my friends who have it. But they've every one of them across the board has been like, partially due to the fact that there's less fear. Because my friends who got it when they were unvaccinated, so much of it was the fear of it.
Right.
It was like, oh my God, I have the thing. And the thing has been doing this thing to so many. So, oh my God, I have it now. So a lot of them, partially due to the fact they don't have the fear, partially due to the fact just because they're like, well, I'm vaccinated and I've been told that should be okay. Mm-hmm. None of them have had a hard time. Every one of them has had a very it was a couple days of a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But nobody has had any amount of the trouble I had some of my friends have when they were unvaccinated, who in the middle of the pandemic, some of them went through absolutely brutal times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough. I have also heard varying from like didn't even have a symptom and just caught it on a random test that I had to take for something, all the way through, being pretty sick for a couple of days. But I also just know as like a mom, I try to be rational when anything's happening with my kids, but my imagination is too great. I just let my imagination run away with me, and it's bad news. So that is for what I am sorry, because I know you must have been very scared.
Yes.
Of course.
That first night, it was, we talked about this on the Monday show a bit, because Daniel, like his brain was protecting him. He's like, my brain just won't let me go there. And in my head, like, I was already like my children hooked up to machines. Like that is the image that was in my head. And I'm like, I can't even imagine having a brain that wouldn't let me go there. My brain won't let me not go there.
Right.
But then
no matter how much you try to stop it.
Exactly. Like it feels irresponsible to not think of the worst case scenario. And I don't recommend this way of being. It's not a strength. It's a weakness. But and then also I had this like intense mom guilt over even having had a babysitter because it wasn't vital that we had one that day. And I'm sort of thankfully I'm like through the other side of it, and I'm like just kind of taking it, moment by moment. But what you were saying, Danny, about this feeling of like this thing that we don't want to have, like we don't want the thing, it's a bad thing, that fear has gone away for some people. I'm realizing I still have this idea of like the goal is to avoid it. Like whatever you do, you don't want to get it. But especially since the episode came out, more and more people have been saying that the goal of the vaccine wasn't to prevent people from getting it. The goal is to prevent you from being hospitalized. And like, maybe I need to just look at it like, yeah, we all might get it, but we're going to be okay.
100%. At this point, I've entered a place, and maybe it's because I'm doing shows, so I've had to rationalize it, but I've entered a place where I'm like, I've at this point have to have been exposed, and if not, whatever. But if I'm a breakthrough case, the reason why I got vaccinated and the reason why I feel comfortable doing shows now is because I'm like, I feel, with that's the point, is that we might potentially get it, and it's not going to do to us what it did to others because we waited for it. And for so long, for over a year, I lived that life where I was like, I'm not getting this thing. I'm not getting it. I refuse. I will do everything in my power to not get this thing. And then I got the vaccine. I was like, all right. I waited my, 2 weeks, and I was like, all right.
I was feeling that way. Like we were back to doing in-person shows, which Tony and I talk when we're not at each other's throat. We just talk, we talk endlessly about how nice it is to be doing in-person stuff again. And so one of my, David Huntsberger, because it came up on the show, ahead of time had sent an email to us. This was the most recent Thursday show. Yeah. So a week ago, saying like how, with rising case rates in LA, how are you guys feeling? And at that point, I really wasn't feeling worried at all. My feeling was like, I'm vaccinated. Everyone who's coming over is vaccinated. Like it's fine. But then like pretty rapidly, this new level of concern, I feel newly concerned. And now I just feel like numbers are going to spike again. I don't know. Where are you with all this, Caissie?
Well, my husband works with the public, so we were super, super locked down because just to mitigate risk to everyone in our lives. So my son and I stayed home. My older son's on the East Coast. My son and I stayed home because my husband worked with the public every day. And so it was nerve-wracking the entire time. There was, I don't even want to, I can't even like think too much about it. So it was just like every day was like day zero for us in the beginning of it. So now I sort of feel like, yeah, we know what to do. We know how to be cautious and same thing that you were just saying, like, it's possible that there will be infections but we're just still being really careful. And I feel like I'm willing to maybe meet up with someone socially distanced where I hadn't been before, but it still really has to be very worth it to me. This is my subtle shade to everyone who has been like, I can't really do it if you're listening. But just still being really, really cautious, just because I would feel terrible if I passed it on to someone, even if it didn't affect me at all. Just trying to be cautious and keep everyone healthy and like do my part. But also like a fucking hypocrite because I'm like, no, we all have to do everything and we should stay away from doing things that aren't strictly necessary. But also like, I really did want to get coffee like with my friend the other day. You know what I mean? So it's like, I am like being in my own mind, like if one of us had gotten sick out getting like lunch or whatever, I would feel terrible and feel horribly guilty, like you're saying. But also like you did need a sitter, you know what I mean? Like,
well, but see, it's new. It's new, and it feels like going backwards to suddenly be thinking like, okay, what are to be prioritizing in that same way? Because I was like, if I got coffee with a friend like 3 times, and one time we even sat inside. And you know, I walked to the restroom inside and I didn't wear my mask. That's the only time I did that, and then I started feeling nervous after that. But
Yeah.
you know, I wouldn't have had hesitation going over to someone's house, like a small gathering,
Right.
something like that. And now I'm feeling hesitant to do any of that again.
I will
I
say
don't
that
know.
I've always been like the queen of the awkward conversation. Like when my kids were little, and
Accolades.
accolades.
To you.
When people would call and say, "Can we have a play date? Can your kids come over?" I would always be the mom to be like, "Yeah, maybe. Do you have a gun in your house or whatever?" And I'd literally
And then you'd
had
send
other-
them right over.
Yeah, I've literally had so many other parents be like, "Well, this is awkward," and I'm like, "Well, imagine how awkward it'll be if your kid shoots my kid. That'll be a super awkward phone call." So let's just like, you know, do you have guns in the house and are they secured? And then we can go forward from there. So I feel like this has opened us up to a lot more honest conversations, and I really feel like it's okay. We've been going to dinner every once in a while at a friend's house, and it's because we've said like, listen, you know, he works with the public, even though I'm home, we would feel more comfortable maybe if it was just like the 4 of us having dinner in your backyard or whatever. So we've been doing that a lot. And it's actually really nice because if you can get 2 friends who agree to that and understand that you just don't want to push it with going out into a restaurant and doubling your viral load for the day or possibly passing on something that you didn't know you had to a whole room full of people as
Right.
opposed to 2 people who love you. You know, I think it's nice because you're not rushed and you don't have to go through all of these like weird safety protocols where you have to do the QR code for the menu or, you know, all this weird stuff that's our world now. So it's actually been kind of nice. And if you don't feel comfortable enough having that conversation with someone, maybe you don't need to be getting dinner with them anyway. So, you know, so I feel like for me, it's been overall positive, and I feel very fortunate that everyone I know has been really open to being like, oh, can we just like hang out in your yard, or can you come to our yard and we'll order in or whatever. It's nice.
Were there any parents who wouldn't answer your question or who did take offense?
Well, on more than one occasion, somebody said, well, this is awkward. And to me, that's like basically saying like, yeah, we have guns laying around everywhere, you know,
Right.
because like, why is it awkward to say no? Of course not. You know, so the few times where people said, well, this is awkward, it's because they were signaling, yes, we do have guns and you're making me feel bad because clearly you don't approve of my guns.
Right.
And it's not necessarily that. It's just that I don't approve of children shooting each other. So I would like to maybe move the play date to my house. But who knows? Maybe they don't like their kid over at my house because I don't have guns and they think it's like not safe. I don't know. But
You're right.
I just didn't need to be, because of the aforementioned imagination, I don't need to leave my kid for a few hours at someone's house where I know there's like loose guns.
Well, it's that thing of like, I don't want to have going through my head, oh, if only I had asked. If only I had asked. If only I had asked, then this calamity wouldn't have happened. Do you guys, let's quickly do some just me or everyone.
Sometimes I ponder on something I have thought or done. Is it just me or everyone?
Okay. Again, this is a segment where people write in with things they think or do, and they wonder, is it just me or is it everyone? And then we weigh in if we also do these things. Okay, so Nina Hartley says, after I order food at a restaurant, I never want to look too eager for my food to come out whenever I see my server come out with a group of food in my direction. Just me or everyone. Interesting. No, I feel like I get that like the way a dog looks when you like open up a bag of chips or something. I feel like I get that look on my face anytime they come out with a tray of food. Like, oh, is that our? Oh, it's not. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think I do a subtle. I think I want to somewhere in the middle. I feel like I do a subtle version of that. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to seem too desperate, but I definitely am like, but yeah, no, I'm openly like, oh, I want my food. You know, I think
Yeah.
that's fair. I feel I don't I never thought to feel shame about it, honestly, until this. But now I'm like, should I feel shame that I'm that excited? I don't think so.
No, I think it's good.
I think I'm at that age where I like to fully look out loud at whatever food, and then I'm like, oh, that looks good. I wonder who got the pot pie. That looks delicious. And I'm like just commenting to whoever's at my table the whole time about how good the food going everywhere else looks, until I'm like, oh, that's our food. That's it also looks delicious. So
I love it.
It's probably not that fun for anyone except for me.
But people might love the running commentary. I have realized, this is a real just me or everyone, I cannot hand my dog a bowl of food, or she now takes medicine, or it's like a pill in a pill pocket, without going, yum, yum, yum. Like as if I'm trying to convince her, as if this does anything. I always, and with my kids too, food is delivered with a yum, yum. I don't even like the word.
It's pretty hard to get dogs to take some treats, so I understand.
But do you say, everyone here has dogs, I don't know if you have paid attention, do you say anything as you set the food down?
My dog actually is not very food motivated. So
Interesting.
We had to actually give a real like excited and just honestly alert her. She sometimes wouldn't even notice when we would put it down. She's now very recently gotten into food. Still not motivated by it, but she's gotten into it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, our dog is she's chill about food. She's not super like intense about it.
Is she like that only with like her actual meals or treats as well?
She has nothing for treats. Treats can't do nothing to her. She does not care. Food is the only one, but we have embarrassing like missed meals for her. Like we have just all of a sudden like at like midnight been like, did anyone feed her? But she never made a face, never did nothing.
That's so interesting.
She just has real faith that we're gonna. She's like, yeah, we've missed meals, and she's just been like next morning, been like, okay.
Yeah, I just asked because my dog is, despite his beefy appearance, he's not like a huge eater. Like he's not in ever a hurry to eat his meals. If you he'll eat treats all day long. You give him treats, but that's why I asked about the treats. But yeah, same thing. Like sometimes he won't eat his food until the next day.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Same with Harper. So we definitely do give sometimes a little coaxing, a little bit of a hey.
Do you want me to come over and say yum?
You could do a yum our way. I'm down for it.
Yeah. So what?
I do have 15 guns in the house. I don't think that's a problem for you.
I'll do it over Zoom.
Okay.
What is your dog motivated by? Like toys, or is your dog just not motivated?
Love. She's the best dog.
Aww.
She just loves love. Aww. I know. She's the best.
Sweet. I have dogs who are sisters, and one is incredibly motivated by food, and one is also just eats when she feels like it. She's like a senior citizen lady. You know how sometimes senior citizen ladies are like, I don't eat past 4 p.m. and
yes,
I only have 7 bites a day. So that's how they are. But she's very protective of her uneaten food. So feeding them is an exercise in, you have to do it in exactly the right order. You have to make sure one gets their food. We never would have gotten sister dogs if we knew they were like this, but I guess sometimes siblings don't really dig each other so much. And so you have to do it in the right order. You have to make sure one gets her food and is inside her crate before you safely give the food to the other one, so that she'll know that the other one can't come and take her food and be starting something. And in the same, and then in reverse for when they're done or not done, you have to make sure that one is out of her crate, her bowl is taken away, she's gone outside to pee, and then you can begin the process of allowing the other one out, because they really do. One eats, one doesn't eat, and they fight over food.
Wow, it's a whole rigmarole. They're like Jessica and Elizabeth Wakefield.
It's a psychodrama.
Yeah. So wait, I know you have problems because they're sisters, but I didn't know that they don't really like each other. I don't know what I thought the problems were.
It's like, well, they're part Jack Russell, and I think that Jack Russells are notorious for mixing it up, for scrapping. I believe Mariah Carey has multiple Jack Russell dogs, and they are, I don't want to put Mariah's dogs on blast, but I've heard that they're famous for getting into it. And so so they will try to fight each other to the death over like a piece of crunchy food. But they're very sweet. It's just that they're hunting terriers. So, But sometimes they get along beautifully. Just whenever it's weird, they fight over two things: my older son when he comes to visit, and food. That's it.
Okay, Chode to Joy says, unless it's visibly dirty, I almost never machine wash my swim trunks. Just rinse them thoroughly in the shower and hang dry until next time at the pool. That's a summer. Just mirror everyone. You know, I think that I have rinsed my bathing suit out. It's been a real long time since I've been bathing suiting. But I do recall rinsing it in the shower and just hanging it up. What about you guys? Are you machine washing your swim stuff?
You know, it's funny. The timing of this is funny because I don't usually wash it, and I just did laundry like 2 days ago, and I saw it sitting there, and I was like, you know what? I'll throw it in the washer. And I couldn't tell you the last time I did that, if I even have done that. So, yeah.
I mean, I certainly never did before I was dating someone. That I know for sure. Now I don't know what the fiance does. She might do it. She might be more on top of it. She tends to be very clean. She likes a nice clean household.
Wait, does she do your laundry too?
We trade off our jobs. So we have jobs and we do our jobs. So she does mostly laundry. I take care of the dishes, the garbage, etc.
Got it.
I love it.
Caissie, do you guys have joint laundry?
Yeah, I'll wash our laundry together. My husband will wash our laundry together, but we both just do it, like whoever has time and will do it, or energy. And we try to do jobs that the other person dislikes doing, because life is too short to be saddled with an unpleasant task repeatedly.
Yes.
But I generally think that we launder a lot of things too much. Like if you're coming out of a pool, like kind of, you just did launder that. So you want to like rinse the chlorine out of it so it doesn't damage, especially if you have a very nice swimsuit. You don't want to damage it, but like kind of what's the point of fully laundering it with a Tide Pod or whatever? Like, and then do you dry it? No, you don't dry it. So you have to hang it up sopping wet. Seems weird. If you were swimming in like a pond or the ocean, maybe you might want to launder it, because that's like a little bit different level of funk than a swimming pool. But I would just say rinse if you're coming out of a pool.
Yeah. We've been watching, rewatching or finishing Sopranos. And we just got to the episode in the last season where they're at the lake house. And I just feel like I might be suited to lake life. I've really not had many lake experiences. Just a like maybe 2. I think I need more lake experiences in my life.
What makes you feel like you're suited to lake life? What part of it appealed?
Being able to sit near a lake and look at it. The part where you're in the lake, that actually I don't think I would be that suited for. I don't think I would like that, but it's just so pretty. Like typically I think of, if you want to be near a body of water, you go to the beach, but that involves sand and heat and all of that. Whereas I like the crisp air. You're near a lake. It's beautiful. That's about as far as I get.
All right. Yeah. I can respect that. Lakes also tend to be like, it's more private experience. Like the people aren't crowded on the shore of a lake generally, and you're generally there because you're in some type of cabin.
Yeah, I like all of that.
So it's like, yeah, you can just go have your morning coffee. I dig that. I like a waterfront chill.
Yeah.
Hang.
I might get there though and realize no, I wasn't.
I feel like this is a very doable week-long vacation for you.
I was gonna say,
which lake should I go to? Arrowhead? Big Bear? Big Bear has a lake, right?
I don't. I'm trying to think of like a good lake near us. Out here in the old Cali. I don't know.
I have a friend who owns and manages places up in Big Bear. Maybe I can hook you up. He's a TV guy as well.
Yeah.
So maybe if you want to test it out, you can go to one of his cute cabins and try it out.
Did the cabins have names?
Guy?
Yeah, he's like a television director, but then as like a side thing, he he invested in some Big Bear cabins. But yeah, I think there's lakes. That's like the point of Big Bear. Yeah. I've never been, but they seem charming. So
I'll report back. Thank you. You guys, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for joining the show. If you like what you're hearing, please make sure that you're subscribed or following in your app of choice. And the terminology of, I feel like the name subscribe now means something different, but just click the thing so that the podcasts, the new episodes, just show up automatically in your phone and you'll never miss one. Please leave us a nice comment on Apple Podcasts. It helps out the show. 5 stars is my favorite number. So if you feel that it is warranted, that would be so great. And tell your friends and whatnot. Follow me on social media at Alison Rosen on Twitter and Instagram. And Caissie, where can we find you? Tell us about all your things.
You can find me at Caissie with that unusual spelling, Caissie on Twitter. You can find me at Instacase on Instagram. Just the first 4 letters of my name, Instacase. And then you can hear me every Wednesday on Busy Phillips is Doing Her Best with my partner, Busy Phillips, who's an actor.
I just realized we didn't even talk about your glass teeth revelation that has changed everyone's life from add to cart. Okay.
Yes.
Next time we'll get to that. Danny, what about you?
I'm so curious about this glass teeth thing. But it sounds insane. You can follow me on at Danny Jolles on all social media, JOLLES. And I have a free special on YouTube that I'm extremely proud of. And I would love it if you gave it a watch because I put it out there for free because I just want people to see it. So if you can watch it, it means the world to me. It's called 6 Parts. And then on top of all that, August 12th, if you're in LA, I am doing a full show at Dynasty Typewriter.
Ooh, nice.
Got to be vaccinated to get in. And I think it's going to be a really great show, and it would mean the world if people came.
I enjoyed your special so much. Everyone go check it out.
You.
Come out on August 12th. Tony, what about you?
I am on Twitter and Instagram at
Tony Thaxton.
And my podcast, Bizarre Albums, every Tuesday. And the Motion City Soundtrack 2022 tickets are on sale now. MotionCitySoundtrack.com for tickets. And that's all for now. I got some other shows coming up soon, but I don't know that I can announce them yet. So I'll be announcing those soon.
The intrigue.
In the LA area, yeah.
And by the way, I forgot to mention, been doing this for so many years, always forget to mention, if you want a deal on Patreon, if you subscribe thank you. If you subscribe for a year, you get 2 months free. So you can do an annual subscription. You get 2 months free.
I mean, I believe what I'm about to say next, but I would say that you're losing money if you don't take that deal.
I think you're right. I think you nailed it. That old timey cash register's back. You guys,
that's where you pay for the antique soup.
Yes. One satchel of vichyssoise, please. You guys, thank you so much. This was so much fun. Listeners, thank you for listening. I love you. You matter. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Alison Rosen Show? We had a good time